Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Chapter 1. The Riddle House, or Voldemort, plans his comeback tour. We open in a creepy old mansion where an elderly caretaker named Frank Bryce is investigating a mysterious light. He finds Voldemort, currently looking like an evil baby, plotting with Wormtail, the traitorous Ratman, and some servant about killing Harry Potter and regaining a body. Frank overhears everything and gets murdered by Voldemort for his troubles. A massive snake named Nagini is there being creepy. Miles away, Harry Potter wakes up with his scar hurting from a nightmare about this exact scene. This is a very ominous way to start a book. Harry should probably tell an adult about the murder dream. Chapter 2. The Scar, or Harry writes letters instead of sleeping. Harry's at the Dursleys being treated terribly as usual. His scar hurt from the dream about Voldemort, which hasn't happened since second year. He writes to Sirius, his fugitive godfather, about it, trying not to worry him. The Dursleys are on diets because Dudley's school uniform doesn't fit anymore. He's roughly the size and shape of a baby whale. They're forcing Harry to diet too, even though Harry's skinny and doesn't need it. Dudley keeps smuggling candy and hiding it everywhere. Harry gets letters from Ron, inviting him to the Quidditch World Cup. Hermione, being annoyingly perfect about homework as usual, and Sirius, who's worried about the scar thing and tells Harry to report anything weird to Dumbledore. The Dursleys are terrified because the Weasleys are picking Harry up tomorrow, and they remember what happened last time wizards visited their house. They dropped a baby at their doorstep. Remember? Chapter 3. The Invitation, or the Weasleys destroy the Dursleys' living room. The Weasleys are coming via Flu Network, which means traveling through the fireplace. The Dursleys have boarded up their fireplace to prevent wizard access because they're paranoid. Arthur Weasley and his sons Fred, George, and Ron blast through the blocked fireplace, sending bricks everywhere, destroying the living room. The Dursleys are horrified. Harry's trying not to laugh. As they're leaving, Fred accidentally drops Tontung Toffees, a joke candy, and Dudley eats one. His tongue swells to 4 feet long and purple. It's karma. It's hilarious. And Mr. Dursley is throwing china at the Weasleys as they escape through the fireplace. Arthur has to fight hard to convince the Dursleys to let him fix Dudley's tongue before leaving. Chapter 4. Back to the Burrow, or the best week of Harry's life. Harry arrives at the Burrow, the Weasley house, and it's chaotic and wonderful. Mrs. Weasley is furious about the Tontung Toffee incident. Fred and George are developing dangerous joke products and testing them on themselves and anyone willing. Bill and Charlie, the 2 oldest Weasley brothers, are visiting for the World Cup. Bill works for Gringotts and has a cool earring and ponytail. Charlie works with dragons in Romania and is covered in burns. Percy is being insufferable about his new job at the Ministry. Hermione arrives and the trio is reunited. They spend a week having the best time, playing Quidditch in the garden, helping Mrs. Weasley with chores, and preparing for the World Cup. The Diggory family is meeting them at the Portkey location. Their son Cedric goes to Hogwarts and is apparently extremely handsome and good at everything, which is annoying. Chapter 5. Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, or Fred and George have entrepreneurial dreams. The group sets off before dawn to catch their Portkey, a moldy old boot that transports people when they touch it. They meet the Diggorys, Amos, who's proud and annoying, and Cedric, who's genuinely nice despite being perfect. The Portkey activates and whoosh, they're all jerked through space and dropped in a field near the World Cup campsite. Harry and the Weasley kids all crash land. The experienced wizards, including Cedric, of course, land gracefully. They arrive at the massive campsite where thousands of wizards from around the world are camping for the Quidditch World Cup, Ireland versus Bulgaria. The Ministry is trying to keep everything secret from Muggles, but wizards are terrible at blending in. People are putting up tents with chimneys, peacocks, and satellite dishes. The Weasleys' tent looks tiny from outside but is a 3-story mansion inside with rooms and a kitchen. Magic is wild. They explore the campsite, seeing wizards from everywhere. Harry meets Seamus Finnegan's mom, who's Irish and very excited about the match. They also run into Draco Malfoy with his mother, Narcissa Malfoy, a tall, slim woman with long blonde hair, who would have been nice-looking if she didn't wear a look that suggested there was a nasty smell under her nose, and his father, Lucius, who's rich and smug as usual. Chapter 6. The World Cup, or the greatest sporting event ever. The stadium is massive, holds 100,000 people. The Weasleys have top box seats, courtesy of Ludo Bagman from the Ministry, who Arthur knows. They're sitting with the Bulgarian Minister of Magic, a house elf named Winky, who is saving an empty seat for her master, Barty Crouch, a Ministry official, various officials, and the Malfoys. Ugh. The match is incredible. The mascots perform first. Ireland brings leprechauns who shower the crowd with gold. Fred and George grab as much as possible. Bulgaria brings Velas, beautiful women who make men act like idiots. Ron is mesmerized until Hermione throws something at him. The teams fly out. Ireland's chasers are brilliant. Bulgaria has Victor Krum, the best seeker in the world who's only 18. Krum is a superstar. The game is intense. Ireland scores repeatedly. Bulgaria's beaters are violent. Krum is doing incredible flying maneuvers. The score becomes lopsided. Ireland's winning by a lot. Then Krum catches the snitch, even though his team loses, ending the game on his terms. It's the most legendary Quidditch match ever played. Everyone's celebrating. Fred and George bet their life savings on the match results with Bagman. Ireland wins, but Krum catches the snitch. Exactly what happened. They're going to be rich. Chapter 7. Bagman and Crouch, or Ministry officials, are sketchy. Back at the campsite, everyone's celebrating Ireland's victory. Fred and George are thrilled about their bet winnings. Bagman promises to pay them but seems sketchy about it. Late that night, chaos erupts. People are screaming. Death Eaters, Voldemort's followers, are terrorizing the campsite, levitating muggles in the air and destroying tents. They're wearing masks and causing mayhem. Arthur Weasley tells Harry, Ron, and Hermione to run into the woods while he and his adult sons fight. The kids run into the forest with other fleeing wizards. In the chaos, they get separated from everyone, and Harry discovers that he has lost his wand. Someone nearby casts the Dark Mark, Voldemort's symbol, a skull with a snake, into the sky. Ministry wizards arrive and almost blast Harry, Ron, and Hermione before realizing they're kids. They find the house elf named Winky in the area, stunned, holding Harry's wand. The Ministry officials accuses Winky of casting the Dark Mark. She didn't. She was stunned. Her master, Barty Crouch, a strict Ministry official, is humiliated and fires her on the spot. House elves can't function without masters. Well, except Dobby, who is weird by house elf standards. This is devastating for Winky. The Dark Mark hasn't been seen in 13 years. Someone at the campsite still supports Voldemort. Chapter 8. Back to Hogwarts, or everything is suspicious now. After the Death Eater attack, everyone's on edge. The Weasleys pack up and go home early. Before returning to Hogwarts, they go to Diagon Alley for school supplies. They visit Fred and George's Dream Shop location. The twins want to open a joke shop but don't have the money. Bagman still hasn't paid them, which is suspicious. Mr. Weasley and a very smug Percy hint that something is happening at Hogwarts this year and the kids will be glad about it. They try to get them to give more information, but it's still a Ministry secret. They have to wait and see. On the train, Malfoy hints that something exciting is happening at Hogwarts this year, with the superior air of someone who knows what others don't. Chapter 9. The Triwizard Tournament announced, or Dumbledore introduces a death trap. The welcome feast happens. Dumbledore announces that Hogwarts is hosting the Triwizard Tournament this year, a legendary competition between 3 magical schools that was discontinued because too many people died. 2 other schools are arriving, Beauxbatons, fancy French school, and Durmstrang, mysterious, possibly dark magic school from Northern Europe. Each school will have 1 champion selected by the Goblet of Fire. The champions compete in 3 deadly tasks. The winner gets glory and prize money. There's an age restriction. Only students 17 or older can enter because the tasks are lethal. Fred and George are furious. They're 16. Harry's relieved. He's 14 and has had enough near-death experiences. The defense against the dark arts teacher is Mad-Eye Moody, a legendary retired Auror, dark wizard catcher, who's paranoid and covered in scars. He has a magical eye that can see through walls and spins around independently. It's creepy and fascinating. Hermione, after seeing what happened to Winky, starts S.P.E.W, Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare, campaigning for house-elf rights. Ron thinks this is ridiculous. Hermione is passionate about elf liberation. She is even more horrified when she finds out that the school kitchens employ house-elves and her campaign starts in earnest. She's knitting elf hats and leaving them around the Gryffindor common room to free elves. The elves are insulted by this. Chapter 10. Mayhem at the Ministry, or Percy is insufferable. Percy Weasley is constantly prancing around the burrow, talking non-stop about his important ministry job working for Barty Crouch. Nobody cares, but Percy won't stop bragging. Arthur Weasley explains that the ministry is in chaos after the World Cup incident. Someone's messing with security, weird things are happening, and nobody knows who conjured the dark mark. Classes start. Moody's defense against the dark arts. He demonstrates the 3 unforgivable curses, Imperio Cruciatus Avada Kedavra, on spiders. It's traumatic but educational. These curses control, torture, or kill. Using them on humans gets you life in Azkaban. Hagrid's care of magical creatures. Hagrid introduces blast-ended scroots, which are lobster-scorpion hybrids that nobody understands, including Hagrid. They're dangerous and possibly illegal. Hagrid is a terrible teacher, but means well. Divination with Trelawney. Still predicting Harry's death constantly. Still useless. Rita Skeeter, a journalist, is sniffing around Hogwarts writing sensational articles about everything. She's going to be a problem. Chapter 11. The other schools arrive, or everyone has a crush on someone. The students from Beauxbatons and Durmstrang arrive in the most extra ways possible. Beauxbatons arrives in a giant powder blue flying carriage pulled by horse-sized winged horses. The students are elegant and wear silk uniforms. Their headmistress is Madame Maxime, who's literally half giant, like Hagrid, but pretends she's just big-boned. The most beautiful girl in the school is Fleur Delacour, who's part Vila, those women from the World Cup. Every boy in Hogwarts immediately becomes an idiot around her. Ron's particularly pathetic. Durmstrang arrives in a ship that rises from the Black Lake. They wear fur capes and look intimidating. Their headmaster is Karkaroff, who seems shady. Their star student is Victor Krum, the famous Quidditch player. Everyone's starstruck by Krum. He sits at the Slytherin table and looks miserable about being recognized everywhere. Ron is torn between being obsessed with Fleur and worshipping Krum. Hermione thinks they're being ridiculous. Chapter 12. The Goblet of Fire, or Everyone Loses Their Minds. The Goblet of Fire is placed in the entrance hall, a wooden cup full of blue flames that will select the 3 champions. Students 17 or older can submit their names. Dumbledore draws an age line around the goblet to prevent younger students from entering. Fred and George try to trick it with an aging potion. It fails spectacularly. They get long white beards and have to go to the hospital wing. Magic always wins. On Halloween, the goblet selects the champions Victor Krum for Durmstrang, expected. Fleur Delacour for Beauxbatons, expected. Cedric Diggory for Hogwarts, Hufflepuff goes wild. Everyone's celebrating. Then the goblet spits out a 4th name, Harry Potter. The Great Hall goes silent. Everyone stares. Harry didn't put his name in. He's only 14, too young to compete. But the goblet is a binding magical contract. Harry has to compete. Dumbledore, the other headmasters, and ministry officials are furious and confused. Someone entered Harry's name as a 4th school to force him into the tournament. This is clearly a plot to harm Harry. But the rules are absolute. Harry must compete in 3 tasks that have killed previous champions. He has no choice. Everyone thinks Harry cheated to get extra glory. Hogwarts students are furious he's stealing Cedric's and Hufflepuff's spotlight. Ron is angry and jealous, thinking Harry wanted more attention and didn't tell him so he too could put his name in the goblet. Even Hermione isn't sure what to think. Harry's life just became a nightmare. Chapter 13. Mad-Eye Moody is suspicious, or adults are useless. The ministry officials and headmasters interrogate Harry, who insists he didn't enter his name. Moody suggests someone put Harry's name in specifically to endanger him. Someone wants Harry dead. They discuss who could have fooled the goblet. You'd need powerful magic. Karkaroff suspects it's a plot against his school. Madame Maxime thinks it's unfair to Fleur. Everyone's angry, but Harry still has to compete. Snape obviously thinks Harry did it for attention and is even more horrible than usual. The other teachers are worried, but can't help. The magical contract is binding. Ron completely abandons Harry, convinced he's an attention-seeking liar. The Hufflepuffs hate Harry for overshadowing Cedric and their house, which is getting a bit of attention for the first time, after living in the shadows of the other three houses for the longest time. Slytherins are wearing badges saying Potter stinks. Only Hermione believes Harry, but she's one person against the entire school. Harry's isolated, miserable, and facing deadly tasks with no preparation. Chapter 14. The first task approaches, or Harry learns about dragons. The first task is approaching, and Harry has no idea what it is. The other champions are older, more experienced, and have had weeks to prepare with their school's help. Harry's alone. Hagrid secretly shows Harry and Madame Maxime, who he seems to have taken to, what the first task is. Dragons. 4 massive, deadly dragons, one for each champion. They have to get past the dragons somehow. Hagrid probably shouldn't have shown them. Hidden under his invincibility cloak, Harry hurried back to school, after following Hagrid and Madame Maxime to see the dragons in the Forbidden Forest where they were been kept. On his way back, Harry spotted Karkaroff hiding in the bushes, looking at the dragons, and he knew that the other champions would know what the first task was. All except Cedric. Harry realizes that Cedric needs to know too. It's only fair. He tells Cedric about the dragons. Cedric's grateful. Meanwhile, Sirius sends Harry a letter warning him to be careful and preparing him for the tournament. Sirius is hiding in a cave near Hogwarts in his dog form to protect Harry, which is dangerous but shows how much he cares. The school is making Harry's life miserable. Only Hermione is helping him research spells. Ron's still not talking to him. The badges mocking Harry are everywhere. Rita Skeeter keeps interviewing Harry and writing lies about him. She makes up a romance between Harry and Hermione, publishes private information about Harry's scar, and generally makes everything worse. Chapter 15. The first task, Dragons, or Harry Nearly Dies, Chapter 1. The first task arrives. Each champion must face a dragon and retrieve a golden egg, which contains a clue for the second task. The dragons are terrifying. Fleur faces a Welsh green. Crumb faces a Chinese fireball. Cedric faces a Swedish short snout. Harry faces a Hungarian horntail, the most dangerous one, naturally. Harry's strategy: summon his firebolt broomstick and outfly the dragon. He uses the summoning spell he practiced extensively with Hermione. The task is brutal. Dragons breathe fire, smash rocks, and actively try to kill the champions. Cedric gets burned. Fleur nearly gets roasted. Crumb does something clever, but damages the dragon's eggs, loses points. Harry's horntail is massive and aggressive. He summons his broom, flies around dodging fire, and grabs the golden egg in a spectacular aerial chase. The dragon breaks free and chases him around the castle. Eventually, Harry succeeds. The crowd goes wild. Harry ties for first place with Crumb. He survived. Ron finally apologizes, realizing Harry really didn't enter himself. Nobody would volunteer to face dragons. Their friendship is repaired. Harry forgives him because he's relieved to have his best friend back. Chapter 16. The golden egg screams, or the clue, is terrible. Harry opens the golden egg to find the clue for the second task. It screams like a banshee. Horrible, ear-piercing wailing. There are no words, just awful noise. Everyone's trying to figure out what the egg means. Harry has months until the second task, February 24th, so he procrastinates. Meanwhile, a Yule Ball is announced, a formal Christmas dance for the tournament. Champions must bring dates and start the dancing. Harry's terrified because he has to ask a girl to the ball in front of everyone. The entire school becomes obsessed with dates. Boys are panicking. Girls are forming strategic alliances. It's social warfare. Harry wants to ask Cho Chang, a Ravenclaw seeker he's had a crush on, but he's too nervous. Finally, he asks her and she says she's already going with Cedric. Harry's crushed. Ron waits too long and all the girls he likes have dates. In desperation, he asks Hermione at the last minute. She reveals she's going with someone else. Ron is surprised she has a date and doesn't believe her. Hermione is insulted he assumed she couldn't get a date. Harry desperately asks Parvati Patil and her twin for Ron, right before the ball. They say yes. Chapter 17. The Yule Ball Disaster, or Ron is the absolute worst. The Yule Ball arrives. Harry and Ron are wearing dress robes. Ron's are embarrassingly old-fashioned hand-me-downs. They meet their dates in the common room. Hermione appears looking stunning. Elegant dress, hair done perfectly, she's beautiful. Ron doesn't recognize her at first. When he does, he's speechless when he realizes her date is Victor Krum. He refuses to give her a compliment because he's jealous about Krum. The champions dance first. Harry's awkward with Parvati. Cedric and Cho look perfect together. Fleur is gorgeous. Krum can't dance, but Hermione doesn't care. They're having a great time. Ron spends the entire night glaring at Hermione and Krum. He ignores his date, Padma, completely. She's furious and leaves him. Hermione is having fun until Ron starts a fight, accusing her of fraternizing with the enemy. Hermione yells at Ron for being a jealous idiot and storms off. Ron has ruined everything. Harry's date also abandons him because he's been moping about Cho all night. The ball ends with Ron and Hermione in a massive fight and Harry miserable. At least the band was good. Chapter 18. House-Elf Liberation Front, or Hermione finds Winky. After the ball, Harry accidentally discovers the kitchens, right below the Great Hall. Inside are dozens of house-elves working for Hogwarts. They're thrilled to see Harry and offer him food. There's Dobby, now working at Hogwarts as a free elf, very happy, and Winky, Barty Crouch's former elf, now drunk on butterbeer and depressed after being fired. Winky keeps crying about Mr. Crouch and how she failed him. Hermione is excited to find the elves but horrified that they work for free. She intensifies her S.P.E.W. campaign, telling the elf to ask for wages. The elves are offended and throw her out. They like working. They don't want freedom or payment. Hermione doesn't understand elf psychology at all. Dobby explains he's earning wages now. Dumbledore pays him, which other elves think is shameful. Dobby doesn't care. He loves being free and having rights. Chapter 19. The Second Task Clue, or Harry Takes a Bath. Cedric gives Harry a hint. Take the egg to the prefect's bathroom and listen to it underwater. Harry's grateful. Cedric's genuinely nice despite being annoyingly perfect. Harry sneaks to the prefect's bathroom using the Marauder's map. The bathroom is fancy. Huge pool-sized tub, hundreds of taps, luxury everywhere. Harry puts the egg underwater and it sings instead of screaming. The clue is a song about merpeople holding something Harry will miss underwater. He has to rescue it from the lake within an hour or lose it forever. The second task is underwater in the Black Lake on February 24th. Harry has to figure out how to breathe underwater for an hour and navigate a lake full of dangerous creatures. Great. On his way back, hidden under his invincibility cloak, Harry runs into Snape and Moody. Snape can't see him, but Moody's magical eye can see Harry, and he covers for him. Snape is investigating someone stealing polyjuice potion ingredients from his office. He suspects Harry, wrongly. The Marauder's map almost gets discovered, but Moody quickly uses a summoning spell to take it out of Snape's reach, saving Harry from being discovered on the map, which was still open. Chapter 20. The Second Task Preparation, or Dobby Saves the Day. Harry spends weeks researching underwater survival spells. Nothing works. He tries everything: transfiguration, charms, underwater breathing bubbles. He's running out of time. The night before the task, Harry still doesn't have a solution. He's panicking and rushes to the library to do more research. Harry sleeps off in the library and is woken 10 minutes to the start of the task by Dobby. Dobby gives Harry gillyweed, a magical plant that gives humans gills and webbed hands for an hour. Dobby overheard Moody and Professor McGonagall talking about it and stole the gillyweed from Snape's stores to help Harry. Dobby's breaking rules for Harry again. Harry's incredibly grateful. Chapter 21. The second task. The Lake, or Harry Nearly Dies, Chapter 2. The second task begins at the Black Lake. The champions must rescue something precious that's been taken from them. It's February, freezing cold, and the lake is full of dangerous creatures. Harry eats the gillyweed. It's disgusting. Then he grows gills and webbed feet and can breathe underwater. He dives in. Underwater, he discovers a whole world. Grindylows, water demons, giant squid, merpeople cities. The merpeople are holding 4 hostages tied up. Ron, Harry's, Hermione, Crumb's, Cho, Cedric's, and Fleur's little sister Gabrielle. The other champions arrive with various methods. Cedric used a bubblehead charm. Fleur tried but got attacked and didn't finish. Crumb partially transfigured into a shark. Harry rescues Ron first, but then worries nobody will save Gabrielle. Fleur failed. He refuses to leave her. The merpeople try to stop him. He's only supposed to take 1 hostage. Harry fights them off and takes both Ron and Gabrielle to the surface. Harry finishes last because he saved 2 people, but the judges award him high marks for moral fiber. He saved someone who wasn't even his responsibility. He ties for first place again. Ron was unconscious underwater and doesn't remember anything. Hermione's is worried Harry wasted time and cost himself some points. Fleur is very grateful Harry saved her sister and keeps thanking him dramatically and thanking Ron too, who is only too happy to finally have her attention. Chapter 22. The third task clue, or Everything Gets Darker. Things start getting sinister. Mr. Crouch, Barty Crouch from the Ministry, appears in the forest acting completely insane, talking to trees and people who aren't there. He's looking for Dumbledore and muttering about warnings. Harry, who was talking with Crumb when Crouch stumbled out of the Forbidden Forest, runs to fetch Dumbledore, but when they return, Crouch has disappeared. Crumb is found unconscious nearby. He was attacked. Someone stunned Crumb and kidnapped or killed Crouch. The Ministry is in chaos. Percy's in denial that something's wrong with his boss. Everyone's suspicious of everyone else. Meanwhile, Rita Skeeter publishes an article attacking Hermione, calling her a Scarlet Woman for breaking Harry's heart and manipulating famous wizards like Crumb. The article includes private information nobody should know. Someone's feeding Rita secrets. Hermione is puzzled by how Rita knows details that were told to her by Crumb in whispers, and finally figures out Rita is an illegal animagus, transforms into a beetle, who's been eavesdropping on private conversations by hiding as an insect. Hermione catches her, places her in a jar, and blackmails her to stop writing lies, or she'll report her to the Ministry. Chapter 23. The third task, the maze, or Everything Goes Wrong. The third task is a maze filled with dangerous obstacles on the Hogwarts grounds. First champion to reach the Triwizard Cup in the center wins the tournament. Harry and Cedric go in first, tied for first place. Then Crumb, then Fleur. Inside the maze, giant spiders, terrifying, boggarts, blast-ended scroots, Hagrid's monsters, and enchantments that disorient and confuse you. Champions are getting attacked and sending up red sparks to be rescued. Harry and Cedric help each other, fighting off creatures together. They reach the cup at the same time and decide to grab it together. Hogwarts can have 2 winners. They touch the cup. It's a portkey, a trap. They're transported to a graveyard far away. In the graveyard, Peter Pettigrew is waiting with a deformed baby thing that's Voldemort. They planned this. The whole tournament was a trap to kidnap Harry. Pettigrew kills Cedric with a curse immediately. Cedric dies, confused and terrified. Harry's tied to a gravestone, helpless and horrified. Then the ritual begins. Chapter 24. Voldemort returns, or the worst night ever. Pettigrew performs a dark ritual to give Voldemort a new body. Bone of the Father, from the grave they're in, Voldemort's father's grave. Flesh of the servant, Pettigrew cuts off his own hand. Blood of the enemy, Harry's blood taken by force. The potion boils. Voldemort rises from the cauldron with a new body. Snake-like, red eyes, no nose, terrifying. He's back. Voldemort summons his Death Eaters with the Dark Mark. Dozens of masked wizards appear, kneeling before him. He mocks them for abandoning him, punishes some with torture curses, and welcomes others back. Then Voldemort unties Harry and challenges him to a duel to prove he's not afraid of the boy who defeated him. Harry's 14, exhausted and terrified, but he tries to fight anyway. They duel. Harry's outmatched completely. Voldemort tortures him with the Cruciatus curse for fun. The Death Eaters watch, laughing. Then something incredible happens. Harry and Voldemort's wands connect. Because they're brother wands. Same phoenix feather core. Golden light surrounds them. Ghosts emerge from Voldemort's wand. Echoes of people he's killed, including Cedric and Harry's parents. The ghosts distract Voldemort for precious seconds. Harry's parents tell him to run, take Cedric's body, and get to the port key. Harry breaks the connection, summons the cup, grabs Cedric's body, and escapes back to Hogwarts while Death Eaters are cursing him. Chapter 25. The Truth Revealed, or Mad-Eye Moody was fake all year. Harry appears with Cedric's body in front of the entire school. Everyone's celebrating, then realizes Cedric is dead. Chaos erupts. Moody pulls Harry away from the crowd and takes him to his office for safety. But Moody starts asking weird specific questions about the graveyard. He's too interested in details. Dumbledore, Snape, and McGonagall burst in, realizing something's wrong. Moody tries to attack Harry, but gets stunned. They force-feed him a truth potion, and his appearance changes. Moody was actually Barty Crouch Jr., the son of the Ministry official who was supposed to be dead years ago. He's been using Polyjuice Potion all year to disguise himself. Snape, there's your potion ingredient thief. The real Moody was imprisoned in a magical trunk in his own office for months. Crouch Jr. confesses everything. He's a Death Eater. He entered Harry's name in the goblet. He helped Harry throughout the year to ensure he'd reach the cup first, which Crouch turned into a port key. He killed his father when Crouch Sr. came to warn Dumbledore. The entire tournament was used by him to deliver Harry to Voldemort. Harry has to tell Dumbledore, Sirius, and the Minister everything about the graveyard. Cornelius Fudge refuses to believe Voldemort is back. He thinks Harry's confused or lying. Fudge is a coward who won't accept the truth because it's politically inconvenient. Dumbledore is furious with Fudge's denial. War is coming. Chapter 26. The Parting of the Ways, or Everybody Grieves. Cedric's death devastates the school. His parents are heartbroken. Dumbledore tells everyone the truth. Voldemort killed Cedric and has returned to power. Fudge and the Ministry deny it publicly. The wizarding world splits, those who believe Dumbledore and Harry Potter, and those who believe Fudge's lies. The Ministry starts a smear campaign against Dumbledore and Harry. Dumbledore reforms the Order of the Phoenix, a secret organization fighting Voldemort, with Sirius, Lupin, Snape, the Weasleys, and other allies. War is beginning, even if the Ministry won't acknowledge it. Harry gives his tournament winnings, 1,000 galleons, to Fred and George to start their joke shop. He doesn't want the money from a tournament that killed Cedric. Students go home for summer. Harry's scarred by Cedric's death and Voldemort's return. Everyone knows things will never be the same. The war has begun, whether the world wants to admit it or not. The end. What we learned. Don't trust any adult who seems helpful all year. Portkeys are dangerous and underregulated. Dragons are somehow not the worst thing in this book. Tournaments that historically killed people are still deadly. The Ministry is useless in a crisis. Time travel would have been helpful here, but apparently stopped existing. Voldemort has the worst fashion sense. No nose, really? House-elves are the real MVPs. Sometimes the nice Hufflepuff dies and it's devastating. And most importantly, when everyone tells you not to enter a deadly tournament, listen to them. Coming next, Harry gets PTSD. The Ministry is actively evil. Everyone thinks Harry's a liar. The worst teacher ever tortures students with cursed quills, and teenager angst reaches critical levels. Also, there's a prophecy. Good times,